Hey, it's going on right now. It's Cache Valley's biggest garage sale. It's happening at the Eccles Ice Center parking lot in North Logan till 3 o'clock this afternoon. It's brought to you by DD Auto and Salvage. They make recycling easy. If you have anything metal, they'd love to have it. They'd love to pay you for it. And if you need anything towed away or hauled away, any kind of a scrap car or bins full of metal, they'd love to take it off your hands and pay you for it. No job is too big for DD Auto and Salvage. Bounce houses and slides. Till 3 o'clock this afternoon, a big community event. Go to CacheValleyGarageSale.com to find out more information.
When only the best will do for your home, Daryl's Appliance is your destination. This is Jay with Daryl's, where Cache Valley's authorized dealer for Wolf, Sub-Zero, Thermador, and more. Our experienced sales team know these brands inside and out, and they'll work to find the perfect fit for you. From selection to installation, we handle everything. A home as beautiful as yours deserves appliances that match. Daryl's Appliance, where luxury meets local expertise. Come see us today. Daryl's Appliance, west on Airport Road.
It's time for the Garden Guide with your host, Mark Anderson from Anderson Seed and Garden.
New research suggests that people are more likely to eat vegetables if they have a tempting name.
What would life be without homegrown tomatoes? Only two things that money can't buy, and that's true love and homegrown tomatoes.
From gardening to landscaping.
Today we are going to try and create garden eyebrows. Kind of like the flowers are sprouting directly from your hair. So that makes sense.
Go! Phone lines are open at 753-KVNU or 800-369-KVNU.
Kind of like eating vegetables.
It's the Garden Guide, now on KVNU 610 AM and 102 FM.
And we welcome you to the show on a beautiful Saturday morning. Quite a contrast from last Saturday when we were getting dumped on with rain and Mother Nature. Now we've got just a few clouds today, and temperature's going to be hot.
You know what?
The 90s.
That rain last week, my garden soil was still moist.
Yeah.
Like I tilled it last night because the weeds went berserk.
Oh, yeah.
Like after that rain, my garden, like my corn jumped 3 inches.
And the weeds jumped 4 inches.
And the weeds jumped like 6. Yeah. And so I was like, okay, I just got to till the garden and really get this under control. And it looks gorgeous. Like I showed you pictures.
Yeah.
And I was just like, it looks so nice when you get all those weeds gone and there's just the cute little plants coming up in the rows. It's very satisfying. But I tilled and there was a ton of soil moisture still.
Yeah.
Like the garden was consistently moist all the way across. Even though it's been hot this week, down 2 inches, there was moisture still.
We watered our garden for the first time just last night.
Yeah.
And of course, we watered it just a little bit as we planted. But then with all that rain, we didn't water at all this week.
I can't believe how much my garden grew, though, just from that rainstorm.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, the carrots grew like 3 inches. My corn grew like 2 or 3 inches. My potatoes grew like 5. Like they just really, really took off. Yeah. And I was able to get the rest of my squashes and melons and cucumbers and pumpkins planted like this week.
And our lawn just greened right up again.
Yeah. It really did. It really greened everybody's lawns up because we're kind of starting to yellow a little bit. Yeah. And, that's all right. This year we're going to deal with a little bit of yellowing on the grass. If everybody's conscientious and conserving a little bit, a little yellowing is okay because the grass will just recover when it gets rainstorm like that. It'll just like green right back up. And so I know we've been preaching conservation all year, and we've been talking hydrotane and back to green, and I'm doing my hydrotane tonight. Yeah. So it's like tonight it's going on, and it will save your turf if you get to the point where you just can't water, but every 10 days your turf will be fine. It won't be totally green, but it'll be just fine. But if you're watering once a week or even every 5 or 6 days, the hydrotane will keep your grass green like all summer. So if you want green grass but you want to cut your water by 50%, do the hydrotane. Yep, do the hydrotane.
All right.
Got some great deals at Anderson's this weekend.
Excellent.
Awesome deals. In fact, one of our growers was like, hey, we want to clear this greenhouse out. We've got some hanging baskets and some wave petunias, and we're going to give you an awesome deal on them. And my wife was like, we've got quite a few. And they're like, here's the deal. And she's like, send them.
We'll take them.
We'll just take them. And so our hanging baskets there are usually about $40. Because they range from like $39 up to like $40, 46, I think. $20.
$20.
$20. Yep. So $19.99 for all of our 12-inch hanging baskets right now. That's shady and sunny. And so if you need a few extra hanging baskets, come and grab them, because we just got a nice shipment of beautiful hanging baskets in, and they're basically half price.
Okay.
Yeah. So our grower was just like, we just want to get rid of them.
Okay.
We're done. We're done for the season, and they just wanted to clean it out. So we got awesome, beautiful hanging baskets. $20, you can't beat it.
Oh, yeah.
This is like our spring open house price for our 10-inch baskets.
In the middle of summer.
In the middle of summer, $20, 12-inch hanging baskets, absolutely gorgeous. What we do with our hanging baskets, if you don't have a spot to hang them, we put them in planters. And so we take the hanging baskets, we'll take them out of the pot, take the hanger off, take them out of the pot. They will go in a 16 to 20-inch pot, and they'll be perfect. So you can use them in different locations. You don't have to keep them in the hanging basket. You can put them in a planter on your porch. You can put them out on the patio, and they will be sensational. And we've got the potting soil to help you like put good soil in there. We've got the fertilizers to help you keep them looking really good. But for $20, an instant planter, you've got it with these hanging baskets. Just take them out of the basket and plop them in some of your planters. They will be absolutely gorgeous all summer, I promise.
Add a little mycorrhiza, Bigfoot with it, and those root systems will take off.
Bigfoot or kangaroo roots when you get them transplanted, and then every watering for the first 3 or 4 waterings, and then start the hanging basket or the flower planter formulas that we've got with our blooming and rooting and our all-purpose fertilizer. And you'll take those baskets, put them in a 20-inch pot, and they will fill that pot in just a couple weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, just a couple weeks. In fact, the hanging baskets we put up on Main Street just like 10 days ago, they've already doubled in size. Oh. Yeah, they have doubled in size.
And so $19.99 on all hanging baskets.
12-inch hanging baskets. They're usually $40 or more, and they are on sale, and we've got some gorgeous ones. But they also gave us a deal on wave petunias. And so the wave petunias are usually in 4-inch containers, and they run $5 for the waves. And we're doing them for, I think, $1.60. Okay. So they're $1.50 or $1.60, and they look amazing also. And so our grower was just like, here, let's just get rid of this stuff. We'll give you an awesome deal on it. And we're just turning around and giving everybody else an awesome deal on it too. So just so you know, the wave petunias, that's what we put in the hanging baskets that we do, and in a lot of the planters down on Center Street and on Main Street. One plant will get 3 feet across. So
3 feet, they get that
3
big.
feet. Yeah. So one plant you can put on basically 3-foot centers, and in a month they'll grow and they'll almost be touching each other. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, touching each other. And so wave petunias regularly $5, on sale $1.60.
Okay.
Yeah, can't beat it. And bang for your buck, they will be the biggest, most showy plants in your yard.
Yeah.
Because they'll take up 3 feet, a 3-foot diameter spot, one plant, blooms all summer. Got tons of colors.
We got a couple wave petunia planters earlier this spring.
Yeah.
And put them up on our door.
Yeah.
And it's almost a little too much color.
Right.
I mean, they've exploded.
Oh, yeah.
And so we've got reds and purples and it's really gorgeous, but I keep thinking, wow.
Yeah.
It really makes kind of the rest of the flower beds look bad.
Yep, because they do. They just fill up so much space. So great deals on those. We just got some really nice perennials in. So our Rudbeckia are like in full bud and starting to bloom. So our black-eyed Susans look amazing. We've got some Shasta daisies that look great. Tons of perennials that are all just starting to bloom. And so they're going to look great in the next couple of weeks. And so we got a bunch of those in, and lots of flowers. So we still have a lot of flowers. We still have a greenhouse full of vegetables. It is not too late to plant. In fact, yesterday, I think probably I talked to 10 people, and there was like this year's just been so crazy. I just haven't dared plant. I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here. I haven't been able to plant anything. So let's, what you got? And we've got just about everything.
Okay.
Yeah. So we got just about everything. So if you haven't planted, it's not too late. If you've started planting, but then you froze some stuff, it's not too late.
Yeah. Perfect time.
It's been one of those up and down years where, people just really struggled getting things planted, and then it got frozen, and then they're afraid to plant again. And I mean, I talked to one customer yesterday, and she was like, "Is it okay to plant?" It's like the weather's been so up and down. I've been afraid to plant anything because it's going to freeze. And it's like, okay, it's
now we're
it's
all
the
right.
5th of June. You're good.
Yeah. Even if we were
to
get some really cold temperatures, you're still going to be okay.
Yeah. So I think we're past that, and it's time to plant everything. So I got my beans planted and my corn planted like 10 days ago, and they are up and growing like crazy. Yep, they look great. Got all my squashes, melons, and cucumbers, pumpkins planted this week. 0 transplant shock. So I planted 62 peppers, tomatoes, squashes, melons, cucumbers, pumpkins. Actually, I planted more because I did a couple more giant pumpkins, just because my plants didn't look great.
Thought you'd add a couple extras.
I'll
just
add
in
a couple
case.
in just in case. And 0 transplant shock. So I used the Bigfoot, and I used the green aminos from Green Grow. And then I used just a little teeny bit of fertilizer in there. So I used the Seedlingers mix and feed with it, which used to be called Fertilixer. So I got the Fertilixer in there with it as well too. And then I throw a little bit of fungicide in there, the Fungicide 5, and use that to water all the plants in once they get it. Once I get them planted, I'll water them all in with that. And so far, for a week, not quite a week, 5 days, 0 transplant shock. The plants have all just started to take off, and they're doing great.
See, and we did the same test this year because last year I mentioned just how our peppers grew like they'd never grown before. And so I thought this year, going to try it again. Maybe last year was just, a
fluke.
A fluke year.
Yep, a fluke.
And so this year, we used the Bigfoot. We used the granules because I had actually bought a bag of the granules by mistake. And I thought, well, let's try this, and we'll use the granules. So we'd actually dig a small little hole, sprinkle some of the granules down, and then we break up that root system and just lay it on the granules.
Right in it, yeah.
Bury it in, water it a little bit, and we put in 5 peppers, 4 tomato plants, and not a single one has gone through any sort of shock.
That's great. If I use the granules, and I did on all my viney plants, I'll take them out of the containers and I'll actually hold them over the hole. And as I put the Bigfoot into the hole, I'll sprinkle it on the roots.
Just put it right on the roots.
So I kind of will just kind of dust the roots with it as well too, and then all the excess falls down into the hole.
Yeah,
and then I'll plant right in there, and that works really, really well. Yeah. But 0 transplant shock using the Bigfoot and the green aminos, I love it because like years past we've never been able to do that. You plant 60 to 100 plants, and you're going to have plants
you'd
that
always figure out like on 10% that we're going to die.
Just not going to make it. And we have almost completely eliminated that by using the Bigfoot and the green aminos. And so it really, really does make a difference. So lots of great plants in at Anderson's. We did get some more trees and shrubs in, so we're kind of stocked up. Store looks really good. You pull up into the back parking lot, and spring is here.
It's full. Yes.
It is full, and the plants look great. And I've got a really good team who has been watering and taking care of all the plants and making sure they look really good. And they do a great job. They really do a great job. Got in some honeyberries this week.
Okay.
Honeyberries. So we've got 40 plants of honeyberries. We've tried to call everybody who was on the list that was looking for them, but they've been really hard to get this year. So if you want honeyberries, and if you've never had a honeyberry, they're kind of like a blueberry, but they're longer, so they're not round.
Oh,
they're elongated,
kind of almost like a grape.
Longer, even longer than a grape.
Oh.
So I would say more grape shape, but just a little bit. Extend
longer.
The grape like twice the size of the grape, and it's about the same diameter, but it's longer, and they taste like blueberries. They don't need an acidic soil. They can handle alkaline soils. So blueberries are difficult to grow here because they need an acidic soil.
Yeah.
The honeyberries can handle our soil. They taste like blueberries. They're really, really good for you. very nutritious. And I've got 40 of them that just came in. So we're excited to have the honeyberries in stock too. So some really great things happening at Anderson's this weekend.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, phone lines are open. We can take all of your calls, your questions, your comments for Mark Anderson of Anderson Seed and Garden. And we can also take emails. I had received an email from a Carson who had emailed us during the show last week. But I didn't get his email until after the show, and I said, Carson, I'm sorry, I missed it.
We'll get it next week.
I wasn't checking my phone and my email as we were doing the show last week. So he would like us to talk a little bit about iron chlorosis. He says, I'm wondering if it's affecting my berry plants. I'm getting some yellowing on my leaves.
We have seen many samples of iron chlorosis the last couple weeks. Mm-hmm. In fact, I just did a short video on iron chlorosis and showed the difference of what a healthy plant looks like compared to a plant that's suffering from iron chlorosis, and then how to correct that. In our area, our soils are limestone based, so they're all built off of limestone, and so our water pH is really high and our soil pH is really high. In most cases, if you get your soil pH tested, it will be somewhere between 7 and 8.5, and that's normal. You know, my vegetable garden, my pH is about 7, and my plants grow great. You know, like no problem. Occasionally, I'll have a little bit of iron deficiency in some of my vegetables, but it usually shows up more in shrubs and trees, and especially plants that are a little more susceptible to it. So spirea, if you've got spirea, they tend to be a little more deficient on iron than a lot of other shrubs, and burning bush can be that way as well too. But maples, we see it in a lot of maple trees. Quaking aspen can do it as well too. So we see samples of this consistently throughout the entire growing season, and iron chlorosis will show up on plants in the newest growth first. And so the leaves that have just recently come out, they will be the ones that show the deficiency before the older leaves that have been out for, say, a month already, the more mature leaves. Okay. So it will manifest in the newest growth first, and then gradually it will work its way back into some of the older growth. I had somebody the other day that brought in a sample of their silver maple. Silver maples are notorious for being iron deficient. Yeah. And basically, some of the new growth was so yellow that you couldn't even see the veins in it because it was so yellow. Wow. And some of the older foliage had the dark green veins running through it, and basically none of the tree was green. It was so chlorotic, and so it will show first in that newest growth, but it'll gradually work into the whole plant. Raspberries are perennially iron deficient, so we're constantly putting iron on there. The trick with using iron products is if you use a product like iron sulfate, which is a great inexpensive source of iron, the sulfur in there is what acidifies the soil, so bring the pH down. But in many cases, there's not enough sulfur in there to bring the pH down, nor bring it down fast enough to free up the iron. So what it takes is, like, say your pH is 7.5. Most varieties of iron, it needs to be below 7 for the iron to become available to the plants. If it's above 7, it ties up the iron and it binds it to the soil, and the plant cannot utilize it. So even though it's right there, right by the root system, and it's present in the soil, your plants can't pick it up because the soil pH has tied up that iron, and it is there, but it is unavailable for the plant. So it cannot use it. And so you have to use sulfur to bring the pH down. And as soon as you get the pH down, then all of a sudden the iron becomes available and the plants can pick it up and use it. A product like iron sulfate has iron in it, but it doesn't have enough sulfur to lower the pH sufficiently to free up that iron. So we're talking, you need 4 to 6 pounds of 90% elemental sulfur to like over 100 square feet. So you need 4 to 6 pounds over 100 square feet to bring the pH down by 1 point. Oh, wow. And so if you're at 8, you got to use 6 pounds to bring it down, and this is a 10 by 10 area, so 100 square feet, 10 by 10 area, you got to use 6 pounds to bring it down below 7 to where the iron's going to start to work. And it takes 6 months for it to happen.
So even if you're like me and you say, okay, well, I put the iron sulfate on at the beginning of the season, we should be good, right?
Yeah.
Wrong.
It takes 4 to 6 months for it to do its job and free up the iron, make it available to the plants.
And one application is probably not enough.
It's not enough, yeah. And so you have to put a lot of sulfur on there. And the iron sulfate only has, I think, like 26% sulfur in it, not 90% sulfur. So instead of using 6 pounds, you got to use 3 times that much.
Oh yeah,
to get it on there. So you're not using enough to make a difference. And the iron that's there still is unavailable to the plants. And so we recommend you go with a chelated iron, one that is called EDDHA. So the EDDHA iron is made for soils above 7. So if your pH is above 7, this will work no matter what your pH is. And so it has been pre-digested and formulated to the point where it will not get tied up and bound in your soil. No matter what your pH is, it will be instantly available to the plants. And so an EDDHA chelated iron, you can apply that to your silver maple. You can apply it to your spirea. You can give it to your perennials or your petunias or whatever.
Raspberries.
And your raspberries, and it will work instantly.
Okay.
Yeah, and it will work instantly. So for raspberries, we recommend a pound for about 100-foot row. And raspberries aren't just like 6 inches wide. They're 2 or 3 feet wide sometimes. So you're going to use a pound over 100 feet. For a tree, we recommend 1 ounce per inch of trunk diameter. So if your diameter of your tree is 8 inches, you're going to use a minimum of 8 ounces and apply that to the drip line of the tree.
Okay.
Water it in, and within a couple weeks, you'll start to see a big difference in your tree. It moves about a foot a day. And so if your tree is 20 feet tall, it'll take 3 weeks for it to get to the very tippy top of the tree. Mm-hmm. But it's going to be working the minute that you apply it. Your plant's going to start picking that iron up.
Now, what kind of brand or what product should we be looking for to get that?
So Fertilome
EDDH.
Fertilome has a EDDHA iron, and it's called chelated iron 6%.
Okay.
And Growmore does also. We have both of those. And when you mix it up in water, and it's water soluble, you mix it up in water, and it looks like blood. Okay. Like it is so red, it looks like blood. If you're doing stuff for Halloween and you want some fake blood, this is the way to go. Yeah, I mean, because your blood's full of iron. And
put a little on the driveway; it'll keep the neighbor kids away.
Yep. So that is the absolute best way to go. And you can put it on dry, so you can apply it on the ground around your tree and then water it, or you can mix it up in water and then water the tree with it. You just got to make sure you use the right amount. So when somebody comes in and says, I got 4 trees, I need to do all 4, I'll say, okay, go to your first tree, take your 5-gallon bucket with you, measure the diameter of the tree, not the circumference, but the diameter. And if it's 5 inches, put 5 ounces in your 5-gallon bucket, fill it up with water, water the tree with the entire amount, then go to your next tree.
Okay.
And then measure it. And
do a tree at a time,
but make sure every tree gets the right amount. If you're doing like your petunias or some of your perennials are starting to show some iron deficiency, you can mix a couple tablespoons per gallon and then water your plants with it, and that will work great. For shrubs, we try and do about 1 ounce per foot of height on shrubs. So if you've got spirea that are really showing it, and they're 3 feet tall, do 3 ounces, 5 gallons, water them with the whole thing,
and take care of
it. And it'll green them. It'll green them right up. The other option is to use a locally made product. Bicor makes it, and it's called Iron Combo Chelate. And this is a liquid form, and it has other micronutrients in there as well as the iron. So it has magnesium and copper and boron and zinc and manganese, and it has a little bit of nitrogen, a little bit of potassium to help the plants pick it up better. And so you can mix that up in water and do the same thing. It's 2 tablespoons per gallon also, or 1 ounce per inch of trunk diameter on trees. So it's the same formulation. Not the same formulation. It's the same mixing instructions as the EDDHA chelated iron.
Okay.
So they work. They both work really, really well. And for some people, it's just easier to mix the liquid. Other people are just like, I don't care if it's powder or liquid, or whatever.
Okay.
So that's the best way to do it. Just be aware that a lot of granulated products, especially sulfur iron combinations, they just won't lower the pH enough to free up the iron. So you have to use soil sulfur, and it's a 90% sulfur, and you're talking 4 to 6 pounds per 100 square feet to lower the pH by 1. Okay. You've got to get the pH below 7 to free up the iron that is naturally there. Because I'll go to people's homes and do consults for them, and we're going through their yard, and I can see iron staining on their garage, where their sprinklers hit it, and because there's so much iron in their water that it's staining. It's staining their building, but they still have trees that are iron deficient in their yard, even though they're getting watered with this water that naturally has iron in it. It's because the pH of the soil is so high, it ties up all the iron, and it makes it so it's unavailable to the plant.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you are using, like, for example, a high yield iron plus that they put out now, it is going to take some time.
It takes time. Yeah. And the iron plus is nice because it has a dose of nitrogen in there, and sulfur and iron, and so that's a great way to keep your raspberries looking good.
Okay. Yeah. All right, well, we can take your calls, 753-KVNU. That's 753-5868. If you have a question, comment for Mark Anderson of Anderson Seed and Garden. Coming back, we'll talk more about how to take care of your tender plants in your garden, especially as they're getting started.
Grubs. We got to talk grubs because it's time to prevent grubs. So So phone lines are open. If you have a question or comment for Mark Anderson of Anderson Seed and Garden, it's the Garden Guide, and the phone number 753-KVNU. That's 753-5868, and we'll be right back. With your KVNU local headlines, I'm Will Feelright. Will, a new study shows that Utahns are taking home some of the highest paychecks in the country when adjusted for the cost of living. Now, according to a recent report by Wallet Hub, the Beehive State ranks 6th nationwide for the best overall earnings. Now, the financial study compared all 50 states using 3 metrics: the average income of the top 5% earners, the median income, and then the average income of the bottom 20% earners. Now, while Utah ranked 17th for its top earners and 13th for its median income, the state secured its high overall placement thanks to its lowest earners. Now, Wallet Hub reports that the average annual income for Utah's bottom 20% is just over $24,000, marking the highest average for that demographic in the entire country. Now, Virginia, New York, and New Jersey took the top 3 spots in the nationwide study. And the American Red Cross of Utah is launching a new giveaway to help reverse the seasonal slowdown in summer blood donations. Now, through June 28th, anyone who donates blood will receive a $15 e-gift card and will be entered into a drawing to win one of 2 $7,500 gift cards. Now, officials say that summer vacations and school breaks traditionally cause donation appointments to plummet. Now, at the same time, though, the need for blood spikes due to what health experts call trauma season. It's the period between Memorial Day and Labor Day, which is marked by a sharp increase in severe injuries from car crashes and outdoor accidents. Now, the Red Cross notes that type O blood is especially needed right now to assist with trauma and emergency care. Well, clear skies with hot temperatures the next several days. I'm Will Feelright with your KVNU local headlines.
Good morning. This is Chris Lewis. NBA Finals Game 2, Knicks and Spurs in San Antonio. Knicks came in leading 1-0 and had a 14-point lead in the fourth quarter of Game 2. Knicks gave up a 14-0 run. Spurs came to tie it, actually took the lead by 2 late in the game. Jalen Brunson tied it.
Harassing defense by Harper. Brunson spins out of it into the front court. Picked up by Champagny. Brunson will back off. Now dribbles on the crossover to the right. To the dotted line. Fades. One-legged jumper. Good for the tie at 104.
Mark Hessisher, ESPN Radio. Ensuing possession, Wemby missed a jumper. Knicks got the rebound, 30 seconds left. Here's how the next possession sounded.
Brunson holding between the circles. Anunoby sets a screen. Brunson bounces to the right, cuts on Wembanyama to the top. Jumper's a miss. Wemby the rebound, 13 seconds to go. His pass to Castle, turns it over. Castle didn't see it. Brunson got knocked down, and Wemby fouled him. Free throws coming for Brunson with 9.5 seconds to go. Another late game turnover by the Spurs in these finals.
The 22-year-old Victor Wembanyama, the 21-year-old Stephon Castle, they weren't on the same page. A devastating mistake that led to Jalen Brunson making one of the 2 free throws to give New York the lead. Still final possession waiting for the Spurs.
Here we go. Baseline right, down a point. 7 seconds to go. Inbound to De'Aaron Fox. Fox has it with 20 points tonight. Fox now pass to Wemby. Wemby rises. His shot's no good. Rebound Knicks. Game's over. Lucky 13 for the Knicks. Their 13th straight win has given New York a 2-0 lead, and they're headed to Madison Square Garden for the next 2 in these NBA Finals.
105-104, Knicks take game 2.
No matter what the conditions, DD Auto and Salvage can get your vehicle up and off your property. Now is the time to plan to make extra cash by calling DD Auto and Salvage and moving that old vehicle. Let them pay you for that junk vehicle. DD Auto and Salvage makes it so easy to get rid of your junker vehicles, paying you the most money possible. If you have metal, DD Auto and Salvage in Logan wants to pay you today. Call 787-1204.
That's 787-1204 today.
See store for details.
From gardening to landscaping, it's the Garden Guide on News Talk KVNU, 610 AM and 102.1 FM.
And welcome back to the show, 8:36 on this Saturday morning. Right now, 63 degrees outside the KVNU studios. It's going to be a hot one, up around 90.
That's really comfy. Nice. Yeah, that's nice.
You know, I was out in the garden this morning, just spot watering a couple of those peppers we were talking about earlier, and my tomatoes, and yeah, it was just a beautiful start to the morning.
89, 90 today, but then 74 tomorrow. So, like, cools right back down, and then we've got a chance of storm next week.
Hoping that we get a little moisture.
We'll take some more water. Yeah, we'll take some more water, so that's great. Every time it rains, my garden grows like crazy, but the weeds grow too.
Yeah, they do.
The weeds grow like crazy. At Anderson's this weekend, we mentioned it at the top of the show, but we have some awesome deals going on. And so we got specials on hanging baskets. We just got a huge shipment of 12-inch gorgeous hanging baskets in. They are $19.99 regularly, closer to like $40 to $45. And those baskets look great. Special deal from one of our growers. They were trying to clear out baskets, so we're passing on the savings. $19.99 for 12-inch baskets. You don't have to use them as a hanging basket. You can take them out of the basket and plant them in planters on your patio or on your porch. Make your porch look amazing as well, too. And we also have specials on 4-inch wave petunias. They're usually $5 each, and they are on sale for $1.60. And so wave petunias on sale, hanging baskets on sale. We've got some gorgeous perennials that just came in, and lots of trees and shrubs. The greenhouses are full of plants. So we've got almost all the vegetables in stock, lots and lots and lots of flowers, perennials. The store looks like it is Mother's Day weekend is really what it looks like, because everybody's been a little slow planting this year. So we've got a great selection of items. Time to plant. Weather's looking great. You plant this weekend, rains next week. Doesn't get any better.
Oh yeah.
You can't ask for better conditions for planting this weekend and then have it cool down tomorrow and then rain next week. It is like amazing. You plant some seeds. If you planted like zucchinis today, they would be up by the middle of next week, and they'll be producing in 45 days.
Yeah.
45 days. So it is absolutely not too late to plant anything: beans, corn, carrots, squashes, melons, cucumbers. This is prime planting time, and we are loaded up at Anderson's and ready to go for the summer.
All right. Yeah. Well, phone lines are open at 753-KVNU. That's 753-5868. And let's go out and answer a few calls. We have Todd, who's been holding on the line from Beaver Dam. Todd, welcome to the show this morning.
Hey, thanks, Will. I appreciate you taking time. Hey, Mark, I've got 2 questions. I've got a couple maple trees are sending suckers up. They're about 6 feet from the base of the tree, And do you think I would have any success trying to transplant those, or should I just cut them out and not worry about it? Then my second question would be, I've got a sugar maple that's not responding to my iron treatments. I've given it 3 treats, and then I've also drilled around the base of the tree and then put the liquid iron down there, but it just doesn't seem to green up at all. It just stays yellow and chlorotic looking.
So for the suckers, you can absolutely try and transplant those. You would need to get enough root system that they've got a little root to be able to transplant. And then when you get them moved to their new location, I would dig an extra big hole, put some planting mix in there, or even a potting mix, and try and get it started in there. That way the roots will be able to expand really quickly. And then Bigfoot or kangaroos on it to try and increase the root mass of that small little seedling to get it to take. Yeah. And it might be a seedling compared to a sucker. So if that's the case, it will have a little bit more root system to it. If it's a sucker, it's really hard. If it doesn't have any root system on it, it's hard to get them to take. And then how big around is your sugar maple? What's the diameter?
It's about 2.5, 3 inches.
Okay, so it's not gigantic.
Not huge.
Yeah.
No.
So on your chelated iron, you need about 2 ounces per inch of trunk diameter to really make a difference if it's really showing a lot of deficiency. Your range is like 1 to 2 ounces per inch of trunk diameter. And so so you might not be using enough. And so let's say it's 3 inches and we go on that heavy side, we're going to use 6 ounces of the chelated iron in enough water to saturate the entire root system with it. So maybe in a couple gallons. And then, saturate that root ball with it, and then watch it and maybe do it again in like 2 weeks. And that should absolutely do it. I'm thinking you're using the right product, but it's maybe not quite enough.
Okay. That's great. I'll kick it up a little bit then.
Yeah, because we normally recommend 1 ounce per inch, but if it's really struggling, you can go double that and still not burn it, and you'll be great.
Okay.
All right.
Great. Hey, thanks, gentlemen. Appreciate your time.
You're welcome. Thanks, Todd. Have a great weekend.
You too. See ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
And that frees up a phone line at 753-KVNU or 753-5868 if you have a question or comment for Mark Anderson of Anderson Seed and Garden. And Mark, let's just go right back out to the phone lines as we have Lori joining us on the line from College Ward. Lori, thanks so much for calling in this morning.
Thank you. Appreciate it. My question is on cane borers and raspberries. I don't know what to spray and when to spray it.
We were just talking about that during the break.
Yes.
Sorry.
I was like, I hope somebody calls.
Because my raspberries are needing it.
Yeah, I was like, I hope somebody calls about raspberry cane borer because this is the time to prevent that. And then magically Lori calls in. I tell everybody that I did not text you or email you or prompt you in any way to ask that question.
You didn't.
Okay. If you're doing the traditional prevention method, we would spray the canes right before they bloom, and they should be getting pretty close to bloom time. And we're going to spray it with permethrin and saturate the ground around the canes, and then just spray all the canes because the adults are going to be laying their eggs, and as the eggs hatch out, then they'll bore into the cane, and then you'll have some damage. One of the newer options, there is a systemic insecticide out that is made by Monterey, and I think it's called a vegetable and ornamental drench. Don't hold me to it. I can't remember the exact name on it, but I've got it, and we use it for raspberry cane borer. You can use it up to 2 weeks before you harvest, and so it's got a very, very short limitation on when you can apply it and when you can harvest, and so you've got 2 weeks from when you apply it to harvest season. And so right now is a really, really great time to apply it, and you mix it up in water, and then you just water your raspberries with it, and it will work from the inside out, and it will kill crown borers that are in the soil, but it'll also kill the cane borer as they start to attack your plants. And we've been using it for the last 3 years, and it's been very, very effective. And it's nice when you don't know exactly when the adults are out laying their eggs. And so it gives you more coverage for a longer period of time. And we've had really great results with it over the traditional, contact spray with the permethrin. So easy to mix up. I think you're using an ounce in a couple gallons of water to cover like 20 square feet. And so you mix it up in a watering can and then just water the raspberries with it. And it's very, very effective.
So it's 1 ounce per 1 gallon of...
Like an ounce in 2 gallons to cover like 20 square feet.
Oh, an ounce to gallons.
Yeah,
and that's a systemic?
It's a systemic, yes. And when you come in, we'll write it on the bottle for you. That's me going off the top of my head. I'm pretty sure that's what it is, but we'll double check and make sure. But we'll give you instructions on how to do it. And it's a couple gallons of water, and you just water the raspberries with it. And if your row's 2 feet wide, you'd be able to do a 2 foot wide by 10 foot row with 2 gallons, and you'll just water them with it. It's really easy to apply, and it's super effective on controlling the borers. So go ahead.
So does that doesn't affect the bees or anything?
No. At that rate, if you use it at the recommended rate, they've done enough studies on it that it does not bother the bees, and it will not get into your fruit if you do it at least 2 weeks before you're harvesting.
2 weeks before.
Yeah.
Okay. My question is, you said if you spray the canes before the blooms come out, I'm already getting teeny tiny raspberries. Is that past the bloom?
That would be past the bloom stage, yeah, if they were blooming already. But now is really the best time to do it. Just make sure that your canes aren't in bloom, because that insecticide would damage your bees. So then you'd want to avoid the flowers if at all possible.
So I probably better do the systemic.
The systemic is going to be the safest for you and for the bees.
Okay. All righty. Well, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Thanks for calling and asking that very timely question. Yes, very timely.
Oh, you're so welcome.
All right. Have a great weekend, Lori.
Thank you.
Yep.
You too.
We'll see you.
Phone lines are open at 753-5868, 753-KVNU. Maybe we ought to just rely on the listeners just to
could do that. Yeah, just
direction we're going to go.
Call in with more questions. We got, 12 minutes left in the show?
So whatever you want us to talk about, 753-KVNU, 753-5868. Coming back to corn, okay, here's a question that was emailed to me. He says, I fertilize and I water my corn every year, but I still find that it stays short year after year. Now, that sounds like a nitrogen issue.
It is a nitrogen deficiency, yes. And I had that problem last year, and I thought I had fertilized sufficiently, but I used a lot of organic matter in my garden. So lots of leaves, lots of grass clippings, lots of compost, and the straw. The more carbon you put in there, the more it depletes your soil of nitrogen. And if you've used corn in that area before, it pulls all the nitrogen out of the soil. So this year, when I planted my corn, I put nitrogen down right where I was planting the corn.
Oh, okay.
And then as the corn starts to grow, when it gets 12 inches tall, I will feed it again with straight nitrogen. And then when it's 3 feet tall, and then again when it tassels. And so we're going to side dress it with, I use about a teaspoon to a tablespoon per cluster of corn. I usually have 2 or 3 stalks coming up in each location, and I'll use that much nitrogen on each one. And usually what I'll do is I will put the nitrogen down, I'll furrow it and kind of push the dirt over on top of the nitrogen, and then I've got soaker hoses on my corn, and so then I will water it afterwards, and then the corn will pick up that nitrogen. You'll get tall stalks, you'll get ears, multiple ears per stalk, and then they'll fill out all the way to the tip. You'll get nice big ears that are full all the way to the tip. And if they're nitrogen deficient, the stalks will be shorter, the ears will be smaller, and they won't fill out all the way. Yeah, and so it's a nitrogen deficiency. So you may be fertilizing, but maybe not quite enough.
Yeah, or you may just need to go full nitrogen.
Right.
And I used instead of the fertilizer.
I use 2100 nitrogen, so it's ammonium sulfate. If I could get some ammonium nitrate, I would use that instead. That's a 34% nitrogen, but it's a restricted use fertilizer since you can make explosives out of it. So nitrate and jet fuel.
Unless you have some special connections to somebody down at Hill Air Force Base or something.
If I can get some nitrate, I would be all over that because the corn loves it. The corn absolutely loves it. So I have to do ammonium sulfate instead.
Okay.
Darn it. So,
all right. So even though you may just be using a general purpose fertilizer, it may be a good idea to just go with a nitrogen.
Right.
Straight nitrogen. And we usually, a lot of times as our corn starts to come on, we'll just take a small little furrow right alongside the corn, just drop the fertilizer and nitrogen right in that furrow.
Yep.
Cover it up and then just drench it.
If you leave it right on the surface, you'll lose some of your nitrogen because it'll evaporate.
Yeah.
It'll actually go into the atmosphere. So you want to cover it slightly and water it.
Okay.
Yeah. We did mention we need to talk grubs.
Yes.
So grub prevention, this is the time. So May and June beetles are some of the dumbest beetles known to man. They're kind of orangey red. They'll show up on your porch in the evening or at night. They'll fly into the light. They'll hit the brick
or hit you
accidentally, and then they fall to the ground and they're upside down and they sit there and kick their legs because they're too dumb to
figure
roll
out
over.
How to figure out.
The one thing that they are really good at is reproducing, though, and so they lay lots of eggs out in your lawn. And then those eggs hatch and they turn into white grubs and they will nibble on your grass and then they will winter over and they'll nibble on your grass again the next spring. And then they'll come up to the surface and they'll come out as a May or a June beetle and start the cycle all over again. And so now is the time to prevent grubs in your turf. And we usually see grub damage in late June, early July. So it's kind of early for it, but it's not early to prevent. We want to prevent the damage before it happens. And if you've consistently had insect troubles in your turf, we recommend an application right now of a systemic insecticide with a contact insecticide in there, like High Yield Bug Blaster Above and Below. This is one of the best products that's out there for grubs and for sod webworms. And it has a systemic insecticide in there that will be absorbed up by the root system into the circulatory system of the grass. Anybody who comes and nibbles on the grass to damage it, it will kill them.
Okay.
So it'll work on grubs, it'll work on billbugs, it'll work on sod webworms. Anybody who attacks the grass, it will kill them. But it also has a contact insecticide in there, so it has the Bug Blaster Lambda in it, and so it will work on the surface and on the shallow soil, and then the systemic will be inside the grass as well too. So any insects that are attacking the grass, from that shallow location or on the surface or deeper from the root system, it's going to control them two different ways. So you've got two different modes of action with that combination product. So the Bug Blaster Plus Above and Below is one of the best products for controlling grubs, billbugs, and sod webworms. But we also have from High Yield, we have the Grub Free Zone. And the Grub Free Zone is a little bit stronger systemic, and that would be excellent for right now as well, too. So we're trying to put that application on now within the next week or so you can have control out there when the grubs really start to hatch and really start to do some damage. So this is the time to prevent if you've had problems with grubs or billbugs. And then what we found is if you have had some damage in the past, this is a really good time to overseed and get some new grass coming up in there and replace some of the grass that has been damaged. So good time for planting from now until September.
Okay.
Great time for planting grass, yeah.
All right, let's go back out to the phone lines. We have Kathy joining us on the line from Dayton. Welcome to the show, Kathy.
Hi. I have a couple of questions. First of all, my roses suffered a little bit when it froze, and now they're budding out, but the buds are tiny, and the flowers that are starting to come on are not looking normal.
A little smaller.
What do I do?
Yeah, a little smaller.
Yeah.
I would, if it were me, and I wanted to get my roses going, I would definitely water them with either the Bigfoot or Kangaroos or Boomerang, because it's got the microbes and microorganisms in there and the mycorrhiza to get the root system really, really healthy again. So focus on the roots, even though we're trying to get flowers up on top. Let's focus on the roots for like a week or two, and then use a blooming formula fertilizer on them to really get more blossoms. Yeah. And continue doing your rose food with systemic if you're doing that. But, compost tea, Kangaroots, Bigfoot, boomerang, any of those would be great. Let's water them with that for the next 2 or 3 waterings to really get the root system healthy and growing like crazy, and then use a blooming formula fertilizer to get more flowers out of them. Magnesium sulfate's really good to add to. Encourages more flowering. So the roses really like magnesium sulfate or Epsom salts, and so that's
good. I just dumped a bag of that on my shed floor, so I'll just
that is really good. That would be really
Put it
good
right on the roses.
to add to those two. Usually, I tell people 2 cups of mag sulfate or Epsom salts in a 5-gallon bucket. Fill it up with water. Water your roses with it once a month. They'll love it.
Okay. Next question.
Yeah.
We have cut down some big trees, and the grass we're watering just like we always have, and it looks like it's dying.
Yeah, I got the same problem. I had a big ash tree in front of my parents' house on Canyon Road that got cut down for the water line project, and my grass is really struggling there. So I used Back to Green and Humate on it. And it has perked right up. In fact, I looked at it this morning before I came to the radio show because it was really struggling 2 weeks ago. And it's never had full sun for like 45 years, 50 years. It's never seen the sun. And now it's got to deal with full sun. And between the Humate and the Back to Green, it has greened it right back up. It looks really good.
That's good. I was getting worried we're going to have to be planting whole things.
Yeah. It wouldn't hurt to overseed, get some new grass in there that's more resilient. So, for sure. Add a little bit of grass seed to it. That would be great. But the Humate and the Back to Green just perked it right back up for me.
Okay, last question. Trees got cut down. We had some younger trees that are growing. 2 of them seem to be doing all right. We put that stuff on the stump to kill the tree.
Right, to kill the root system.
And one of our trees, the leaves are yellow, and I'm worried that it's one of the young trees. I'm worried that it kind of got affected by that stuff. Is that possible?
Possible, but highly unlikely. Especially if you just treated the stump and it doesn't get into the soil, it wouldn't affect anybody nearby. And so it might be just a little stress, transplant shock. How young's the tree? When did you plant it?
These trees are probably maybe 10 years old. They're not young yet.
Okay, so they're not little. Yeah, I'd kind of do the same thing of what you can do with your roses to try and kind of kick it in gear. I mean, it's possible it could have picked up some of that herbicide, but if you applied it right to the trunk and right to that stump,
we did. We painted it right on the stump.
It's not going to get into the soil, and the nearby trees and shrubs and flowers and stuff wouldn't be affected by it at all.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kathy. Good luck.
Have a good day.
All right, you too. Bye-bye.
All right, and Maggie's joining us on the line from Logan as we wrap up the show. Maggie, go ahead with your question. Thanks so much for calling.
Yeah, I just happened to walk out as you were talking about the roses to see my buds, and I see a bunch of yellow spots on some leaves on my rose bushes. Will any of that you told this lady to do will help that, or is that something else?
That would absolutely help to get your roses really, really healthy. If you've got yellow spots, I'd have to see it for sure, but it sounds like you may have a little bit of a disease. And our up and down weather, where it's been like really warm and dry, and then cold and wet, then warm and dry, and then back cold and wet, we've seen a lot of disease on plants, and roses are susceptible to leaf spots and powdery mildew and rusts and a lot of various diseases. I would probably do a disease control on the foliage. And then what I suggested to Kathy with like the kangaroos or the boomerang to really get the plant healthy. And then watch for aphids. Like I was looking at my roses last night, and some of the buds were covered with aphids. And the aphids will weaken the plant and make it more susceptible to other stuff as well, too.
Perfect. I'll get a picture of it, and I'll go sometime today.
Oh, that would be great. Yeah, bring a sample in or a photo, and we would be glad to take a look at it, see if we can help you find out what's going on.
Perfect. Thank you so very much.
Thanks for calling, Maggie. Yes. Have a great weekend. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, bye-bye.
All right.
Well, that pretty much wraps up the show, Mark. It flew by, but still time to mention today a special going on at Anderson Seed and Garden.
One of the best specials that we've ever had. We have a plethora of 12-inch hanging baskets that one of our growers was just trying to clear out. And so we bought pretty much everything that they had. They gave us a great deal on it. They are $19.99. Usually we sell them for $40 to $45, and they are on sale for $20. And the gorgeous baskets. It can be hanging baskets. You could transplant them into 18-inch or 20-inch planters and fill that planter almost instantly with color and beautiful flowers. Use them. $19.99. It doesn't get any better. For our spring open house, we do 10-inch baskets for $19.99, which is our sale. And these 12-inchers are just that much bigger and that much fuller. They look good. And our 4-inch wave petunias, regularly $5. They are on sale for $1.60. So wave petunias, 4-inch. These suckers get 3x3, so they fill a 3x3 diameter, and they will bloom all summer long. They will look absolutely amazing. Right. $1.60 instead of $4.99. And then with tons of perennials, lots of new shrubs. Greenhouses are full. It's spring. It's time to go.
All right. Join us again next week on The Garden Guide here on KVNU.
KVNU Logan, 610 AM and 102.